Hey everybody, so today we're running something a little different. We're gonna run a hybrid support mercenary build that still hits hard. Now, this build revolves around constant spirit generation, letting us spam our legendary dual katana ability, and then also keeping ourselves and our team alive with healing incense. Now, the goal here is simple. It is to generate spirit, spend it aggressively, regenerate it again, and then just repeat the loop. And now, because of this loop, we can use our spirit points almost exclusively for offense while still playing a strong support role. So, here's the idea behind the build. We're using Purified Healing Incense not just for healing, but as a spirit engine. Now, that constant spirit gain lets us repeatedly trigger Lightning Spite, which is our dual katana ability that calls down a lightning strike at the end of the combo. At the same time, when we do run out of spirit, we can fall back on spirit throw, and then we also have fire kunai and fire bombs. So instead of being stuck waiting, we're always dealing damage either through melee abilities or thrown weapons. Now let's talk legendaries. First up, we have Lightning Spite, and this is the core of the build because every time you use your dual katana special attack, you're cooling down a lightning strike at the end of the combo. It costs one spirit, which is perfect because we're constantly generating spirit. Second, we are using the Purified Healing Incense, and this is what makes a lot of the build work because it heals nearby allies over time and it gives you spirit. So every time this is active, you're fueling your offense while supporting your team, which is exactly what this build is about. Now, for our class ability, we are running Spirit Throw. This is one of our main DPS tools. It is on a 30-second cooldown, but we're going to reduce that heavily and we're going to reset it often. For perks, for the first perk, we have ability cooldown reduction. This is simple and effective. We basically want to be able to use Spirit Throw as often as possible. For our second perk, we have Spirit Shatter. And this is huge because thrown weapons explode on impact and they deal AoE damage and they apply Weaken. Now, weakened enemies take more damage and they deal less damage. So, this is both an offensive and a defensive perk. For perk number three, we have Energizing Smite. And this kind of ties everything together because every time that you use your ultimate, you get a massive cooldown refund. And that means that you can use your Spirit Throw again and all your ghost tools. So your loop becomes use abilities, use ultimate, instantly use everything again. Now let's break down the gear. On the katana and the odachi, we have melee stagger damage, class ability cooldown reduction, and burning blade. The way that we're playing this build, these two weapons are basically there for their passive bonuses. We're stacking utility here more than anything else. And then we're not going to use these weapons directly unless you really, really like them, but it would be pointless since we're using the dual katana legendary. So, the dual katana. Now, this is going to be your main weapon. This is your primary weapon. We're stacking stagger damage on it, we're putting class ability cooldown on it, and we're putting burning blade on it. Now, burning blade is important because we are heavily investing into fire damage synergy across the build. Then also, you're going to see that most of the items, if not all, have either class ability cooldown reduction or thrown weapon damage, because again, thrown weapon is a huge ability for the mercenary. On the concussion bomb, we are having spirit gain on melee, so that every time that we're attacking with our katana, we're getting spirit gain, which would then let us use our special or our weapon tech. We have thrown weapon damage, so that again, we have that synergy with everything else in the build. And then we have scorch bombs. These are fire bombs. So these abilities help us generate even more spirit, and they allow us to apply burns for extra damage over time. On the charm, we are using Shadow's Bite, and then we're gonna have status effect duration for all those fire effects that we're gonna have. We're gonna have thrown weapon damage, and we're gonna have Fire Master, which gives us 25% more fire damage. So this amplifies all of our burn effects, and it boosts our thrown weapon damage, which is a big part of our DPS. On the Kunai, we have Ghost Tool cooldown reduction, we have class ability cooldown reduction, and we have fire kunai. Again, more fire synergy, more cooldown reductions, more uptime on all of our abilities. Then lastly, on the Purified Healing Incense, we have again Ghost Tool cooldown reduction, class ability cooldown reduction, and armory for extra ammo pickup, so that every time we use it, we also get more bombs. Now let's talk about how this build actually plays. And now your number one priority here is simple. You want to use your healing incense whenever it's available, because this is not just for healing, this is for spirit generation. Once that is active, you immediately shift into offense. You use your Dual Katana ability as often as possible. You stay aggressive, you keep pressure on the enemies. When you run low on spirit, you use your spirit throw, you follow up with your fire kunai, you use your concussion bombs if needed. And here's an important tip: try to finish enemies with your thrown weapons whenever possible, because you have a passive as a mercenary, and then you have a perk, which is Spirit Shatter. So you're basically dealing AoE damage, you're playing weaken, and you are conserving your ghost tools overall, because whenever you kill someone with your or thrown weapon, you get a major reset on your ghost tools cooldown. Now, whenever your ultimate is ready, you want to use it strategically, because with Energizing Smite, that instantly refreshes spirit throws and your ghost tools. So your full burst rotation becomes dump all your abilities, use your ultimate, dump everything again. This creates some really insane uptime and a lot of constant pressure on enemies. So overall, this build gives you constant spirit generation. It gives you high melee burst with lightning strike. It gives you strong range and AoE pressure. It gives you team healing and support. And you have almost non-stop ability uptime. This build is aggressive, it is supportive, it's incredibly fluid once you get the rhythm down, and it's a very fun build. So if you're looking for a mercenary build that can carry fights while supporting your team, this is definitely one to try. And that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy my content and you want to support the channel, there are a few ways that you can help out. First, drop a like on the video and share it with your friends, family, or anyone you think would enjoy it. It really helps the channel grow. Second, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you never miss a future video. And third, if you would like to support me directly, you can do so at allbashgaming.com. In there, you can buy me a coffee, and now you can also rep the channel with your own merch. You can grab your Loot Goblin t-shirt or the classic "It's not a glitch, it's a tech" t-shirt over on my shop. All the links you need are in the description. Thank you again for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. See you in the next one.